discuss about one of the important topic of physical chemistry, that is phase equilibrium. Phase equilibrium is also known as phase rule. Before going to this topic, I must say, so this topic is little bit difficult to understand for the student because it requires high imagination power to understand the physical processes. So let's start. Phase rules. So as we can see, there are two different words like phase and equilibrium. So phase means different state of matter that can be liquid, solid, liquid or gas. And equilibrium is a well-known term in the physical chemistry. So let's start with introductions. We describe a systematic way of discussing the physical changes mixture undergo when they are heated or cooled and when their composition are changed. Suppose take any mixture, like it can be solid, liquid or gas. If you heat it to the particular temperature or cool it down to the particular temperature, what happens to the composition of the mixture? So all this data we are going to see, physical changes we are going to see and get plotted into particular 2D diagrams. So for the diagrams we call it phase diagrams. So in phase diagrams, basically mostly or majorly it is temperature versus pressure or mole fraction versus temperature. So with these three parameters it's going to revolve. So phase diagram, in particular phase diagrams, we use this data to judge whether the systems or two different mixture are miscible, perfectly miscible or homogeneously miscible that we are going to observe, or whether the systems are having equilibrium for the various different conditions. So we use this data. So phase diagram are considerable applications in commercial and industrial significance, particularly for the preparation of semiconductors, ceramics, steels, or preparation of alloys. This is also basis for the separation processes in petrochemical industries or the formulation of foods and cosmetic preparations. So if you want to prepare to mix two different metal and form the particular alloy, for that you require these phase diagrams to form the particular composition or to form a particular alloy. Or this data can be also used to remove or to separate out particular metal from the alloy. Such as also useful for separation techniques like distillation of particular fractions or to remove the particular compound from the mixtures of compounds or liquids. By end of this chapter, we are going to find out the answer for the question such as why pure substance has sharp melting point and boiling point, why certain solids are sublimes, how distillation can be carried out effectively, how alloy can form. All these questions are going to address by the end of this chapter. So student can write down this. Now let's move to the next point, that is phase, the statement and meaning of the terms. Now we'll see the meaning and terms of the terms. Like first one is the phase. So here we'll see the first definition. What is meant by phase? A phase of a substance is a form of matter that is uniform throughout in chemical composition and physical state. So to define a phase of a substance, it should be uniform by chemical composition and as well as physical state. So for example, you can take, if you have a solution of like water, and if you add salt in water, that mixture which is pinch of salt, if you add in 1 glass of water, that is uniform. So that it indicates that both are in same phase. So the another, if can tell in another word, it should be homogeneous mixture, or it should be homogeneous. Homogeneous means you cannot able to separable, you cannot distinguish between two different things like by eyes. So in other word, like if there are heterogeneous, if mixture is heterogeneous, it should be like physically distinct and mechanically separable part of the systems. Means if you add salt or soil in water, that will if you mix together, it may not miscible. So that is heterogeneous systems. So that you can distinguish by your naked eyes, and as well as you can separate by mechanically. So there are two different phases are available that we can say it. So now moving to the examples of the phases. So here first one is a single phase systems. So this phase is denoted by P. So this is the common notation people generally use. So now we will see the example of the single phase systems. So which is denoted by P equal to 1. So first example is a gas or mixture of gas. Now we are taking inhaling or exhaling gas or by air. So in air it's a mixture of gas. So like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, if both are, all three gases are miscible to each other, so then we say a single phase systems. So another example, take it as a crystal. A crystal means take any compound crystal, it should be single crystal. So then we say that all crystals are in same phase or single phase. Next, moving to the next example is two totally miscible liquids. Here we can take the example of two miscible liquid means alcohol in water or ammonia in water. So these are the two miscible liquids. Or if polar, it can be dissolved polar like polar or non-polar like non-polar. So if these two are miscible, then we call it single phase. So another example is a solution of a sodium chloride in water. It should be unsaturated solution. If you take in 1 liter, I think 350 gram of NaCl is maximum highest limit. It can dissolve in 1 liter. So if you take below that sodium chloride in water, then we can say it is a homogeneous mixture or a single phase system. Another example is ice. Ice is also one of the single phase system. Another example is alloy. Take any alloy which is a homogeneous mixture. It is a solid mixture. This is the example of brass. So where zinc and copper, if you mix together, it forms the alloy. So that alloy we name it brass. So this is also a single phase system. The student can write down this. Now we will see two phase system. So here we can denote P equal to 2. So first example is a slurry of ice and water. If you put ice into the water, you will get two different phases. One is solid and one is liquid. So this is one of the example is two phase system. And the second example is an alloy of two metals. So if two metals are disproportionate, so then we can say there are two phase systems. So where P equal to is 2. The third one is two immiscible liquids. So take any polar and non-polar liquid. Like one is P1, another is P2. So one is polar, another is non-polar. If you mix together, you will see one is H2O, one is CCl4. So if you mix together, no matter how many times, like for 1 hour also, it will be remain as a immiscible liquid. So it will you can say is P equal to 2. There are two phase systems. So fourth one is ammonium chloride 2 and NH3 plus HCl. So if you heat it, ammonium chloride, so you will get two different gases. One is ammonia and second one is HCl gas. So these two both are gases and one is solid. So this is their three component, but you can say is two phase systems. So for fifth example is gas in contact with liquid. So one is gas and another is liquid. So here example of gas is SO2 plus water as a liquid component. So here if you mix together, it will be remain as a heterogeneous mixture. So it will be always a two-phase system. So we can say two-phase system where P value is P equal to 2. So student can write down this. Moving further, we will see for three-phase systems. So here P value is P equal to 3. So take first example is a calcium carbonate, decomposition of calcium carbonate. If you decompose, this is solid, it decomposes to the one is solid, one is gas. First one is calcium carbonate, calcium oxide plus calcium. Here this is a CO2 gas, carbon dioxide. And second example is hydrate solution. Here copper sulfate dot 5H2O plus copper sulfate dot 3H2O plus copper sulfate dot H2O. So this is three different phases. So here each hydrate is one phase. So here also P equal to 3 values. So student can write down this one. Moving to the next topic, now we will see the component. Component is defined as a component is a chemically independent constituent of a system. So we can say if some species is there in the system, if that is chemically is independent or only one species are there, suppose water H2O, so that is chemically independent. So only water is there inside, so there is only one component. So we can say it's a one component. So that is chemically independent constituent. Now we will see the how to calculate how to calculate the number of components. So the number of component is represented as C. In a system is the minimum number of independent species necessary to define the composition of all the phases present in the system. So to define the system, a particular system, we have to calculate the minimum number of independent species. Independent species means that should be chemically independent, and as well as it is necessary that if you want to define the some particular system, that species 100% will require. So that then we say is the minimum number to define the composition of all the phases present in the system. To define the particular system, you may require the minimum number, so that we can say is the number of components. Now we will see the what is meant by constituent. That is written here, independent constituent. Now we will see the what is meant by constituent. Constituent means constituent of a system. We mean a chemical species, an ion or molecule that is present in system. Suppose any chemical that can be a particular molecule or any ion part. Ion species also, different ion species also, that is one constituent. So in this case means ion, if is there, ion also is there, then we can say it's different constituent. Now we will see the two different conditions. In the system, reaction may occur or may not occur. So there is two possibilities are there. So you can say for chemically inactive reactions, for that number of component is equal to number of constituent conditions. Suppose there is in a system there is no reaction is taking place, only one chemical is there, then we can say the number of component is always equal to the number of constituent conditions. Second condition is for chemically active reactions. Suppose in a system a reaction is going on, then what will happen to the number of constituents? So number of component, that is component is represented as C, that is equal to the constituent, that is represented as N, minus relation between them. So you have to calculate the constituent minus relation between them. So how much will what is the relation that we are going to see in next example. So student can write down this. Now we will see the examples of the component. So there are two different types, right? One is for chemically active species and for chemically inactive species. So first we will see the chemically inactive reactions. So first one is for one component system, where one component system we denoted by C equal to 1. So here example is pure water. If you take pure water only pure water, then it will be the component will be the only C equal to 1. So if water is in solid, that is equivalent with water in liquid, that is equivalent with water in gas phase. So if you take one system or one beaker and it's like it will be covered, and inside if water is there, ice cube is there, water also is there, and some gaseous molecules are there. So all if you are in equilibrium, so in that case your component will be the remain as a C equal to 1. So now we will see the two component system. So in two component system, first example is mixture of ethanol and water. Ethanol and water are homogeneously miscible. So you can say there is completely one phase, that both are in one phase. But in terms of components, so there are two different chemical species, right? So in that case, your C equal to 2. So second example is glucose solution. Now you know glucose it has 6 carbon, so that if it's put in water, that is solubilized. So it get completely solubilized. So in that case also there are two different components. One is glucose and another is water. So third type is three component system, where C is denoted by C equal to 3. So in this case, example is a system that consists of hydrogen plus oxygen and water at room temperature. So temperature is very much important. So at this temperature, oxygen and hydrogen will not react. So in that case, there is no relation between hydrogen and oxygen. So in that case, your system will be the C equal to the 3. So now we will see for chemically active reactions. So in previous case we have seen the formula where C equal to N minus E. So this is the relation you have to where C is the component, N is the constituent, minus E is the relation between them. So first example is calcium carbonate is getting heated and giving the two different product, that is calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gas. So if you heat it, so in all three component will be in equilibrium. So in this three constitute, we can say the three constitute, not component. So in this case, all three are different constitute. So one is gas, another is solid, and third one is solid. So all are in equilibrium. So in this case, your constitute will be the 3, and their relation is equilibrium. So this relation is -1. So 3 minus 1, you will get 2. So in this case, your chemical constitute will be the 2, because you can understand in another way. So if you know calcium carbonate is equilibrium with CO2. So for equilibrium, you need both sides equal species, right? So chemically it should be balanced. So for that, you no need to write the calcium oxide in that case. So if you know the calcium carbonate is equilibrium with carbon dioxide, so that is definitely third member will be the calcium oxide. So you have to mention only minimum number. So that will be the that is sufficient to describe the complete whole system. So in that case, you will get the C equal to 2. So now we will see the second example. This is ammonium chloride, NH4Cl, that is in solid state. If you heat it, it will get evaporated and forms ammonium gas plus HCl gas. So this reaction is equilibrium. So another condition they have given. So pressure of ammonia and pressure of HCl gas is equal. So in this case, your number of constituent is 1, 2, 3. So there is 3 different constituent. Minus how many relations are there? 1, and this is second. So there are 2 different relations. One is equilibrium, another is both gases are in vapor phase, are in same amount of gases are there. So ammonia and HCl vapor pressure is same. So in that case, your component will be the 1. You will get C equal to 1 value. So moving on to the third example, ammonium chloride, that is in solid state, that is in equilibrium with ammonium gas plus HCl. In this case, another relation that have given that vapor pressure of ammonia and HCl is not equal. So in this case you will get so this is, there is no relation between ammonium gas and HCl. So you can say it, your number of component is the N minus E. So here 3 is the 3 different constituent is there, and relation is only 1. So this is, there is no relation. Okay, so only one relation is there. So you will get C equal to 2 component. So in this case you will get the chemical reactive reaction is C equal to 2. So in this case component is the 2. So like that you can solve for other examples also. So student can note down this.